Welcome to the donhat crew. Today we're going to be looking at Sakazuki, also called Sakaluchi. I'm going to show you the full build. I already have the full build on the side. I'm just keeping it for suspense. I already play tested it, but basically we're going to go over all the cards and what they do and what combos you can make to play this deck, which is considered tier 0, the best deck of the format. So let's get into this. And first of all, let's look at the leader and what it does. So basically, active main once per turn, you may discard one card and draw a new card. Basically, fixing your hand and making some plays happen. For example, there's a card called Hina, which we run a total of 3 of, with Rebecca, which is a very busted card. We run 4 of this. So imagine this, you have these 2 cards in hand, and the new Rob Lucci that I spoke about before, which is definitely a 4. So a combo you can always do with these cards, as considering the fact that you can discard a card and draw a new card, you would be discarding the Hina, drawing a new card, playing the Rebecca, getting the Hina back into your hand with the Rebecca's effect, playing the same Hina on the field, doing a -4 to one of their characters. Let's say it's a 5 cost character, you do a -4 on it. Then the second effect of Sakazuki, you attack -1 cost for another character that's a 3 cost, meaning his 3 cost and 5 cost just became a 2 cost and 1 cost. And then you play a Rablucci, you just place 3 cards back to your deck from your trash and you pop both of those cards, basically for free. So with 2 cards, you just take out 2 of their cards and you have 3 bodies on the field, which is basically +3 on its own, plus the tempo that you get from this, and just clearing the board is amazing. So this is one of the main combos that they will be doing. Essentially, you have other removals, which is Hound Blaze, one of the new cards that is quite nasty. And the reason it's nasty because, first of all, it's an AV card, which you can search with brand new. This is the searcher that you have in the deck, you run 4. So imagine this, you go brand new, later on you just lower their cost, and the Hound Blaze basically bounces a card that's a 2 cost or less, and on top of that it gives a 3k bonus to any card on your field, like a character or a leader. So if you had this prior to the setup, you just lowered the cost with, let's say, Rebecca to Hina, the same combo, and an attack with Sakazuki, which makes that character go from a 7 cost to 2 cost. Then you play Houndblaze, you just remove the threat, that's it, the monster is gone, and the brand new becomes a 6k for you to swing with. It's just nasty and busted. Of course, you have big bodies as well. You have Borsalino, the new one. I choose to play 2. Sometimes you can play 3 of those, but no more than that. It's more than enough. This guy is basically like a Mihawk. He bounces something back to the deck, but he bounces a 4 cost. And as you know, we can lower the cost easily with Hinas. We can lower the cost with the Sakazuki effect. And we have other ways to lowering the cost. For example, Ice Age. Ice Age lowers by -5. This is another -1. So that's already -6, which is more than enough to remove 10 cost with Borsalino. Easy removal with that. But worst case, if you have a problem by not being able to remove big bodies, I also play 2 red rocks, because usually to remove big bodies you need to invest a few cards. So removing 10 cost is a problem. Removing 7 cost is easy as pie. So for that reason I run at least 2 of these, just to have the option to just 1 for 1 a big body, like a 10 cost. And at the same time there's a card called Meteor, not this Meteor, it's called Great Eruption. I'm sorry, it's Great Eruption. We run 4 of those. Basically it lowers the cost by 2 and you get to draw a new card. So it's a free -2 cost on anybody. So if you want to spread your like minuses to Rablushi more than 1, because you can only Rob Lucci them if it's a 2 cost and a 1 cost. Of course, you can just pop one of them, not 2 cards, but it's better to pop 2 cards. So with this, you can spread your minuses. With Hinas, with Greater Options, Ice Age, and the Sakazuki effect, you can easily pop 2 cards with Rob Lucci any time of the day. Of course, we also run the Kuzan, which might be one of the best cards in the deck if we don't count Rebecca, because not only it replaces itself by drawing a new card, afterwards when you attack you can -4 any character, which is busted in this deck because you have a bunch of removals that you can use and you can recycle. Some people even use Manchuri, but usually it's only 2 or 0. I personally don't run it. I tried. It's fine, but I want to have other cards in the deck, like the old one, the Barcelino. It's amazing because it cannot be KO'd in mirror matches. It's quite nice unless they do a Houndblaze or a Barcelino. Rob Lucci cannot pop this, so it's a good blocker to have on the field. Usually you play this or this on your 4th dawn turn, and just to start setting things up. Hence you go usually second, you go brand new, and then you go into Kuzan or Borsalino, both are searchable with brand new. And afterwards you just set up your grave by pitching Hinas, pitching cards that you don't really need that could brick. You could even pitch a Rob Lucci if you have too many of those, or Borsalinos or Kuzans if you have too many of those, because they're all non-counter. You can pitch them all with the Sakazuki. And of course we need 2k counters, which is Tsuru. Tsuru can also do a -2 on play, which can go into an effect of Rebecca, getting her back from the grave, then playing her for free basically, because Rebecca can play a character after adding a character, which is a 3 cost or less, and this is a 3 cost or less. We also have Tashigi to have a 2k counter. Also does a -2, but it needs to be rested. So if you're going first, you might consider playing this or this just to have a body, or just to start doing stuff. It depends on the matchups, of course, but you could try to do that. Another tech card I love is Kaido. If I could find more space for a second Kaido, I would put the second Kaido in. But it's very busted, especially in the late game. If you control their board to a state where you can easily play a 10 cost and draw 4 cards for that, it's just very busted. It usually just stays on the field for a long time, and it's just a very good card, a new addition that we got just now. At the same time, we do need a little bit more 2k counters. We're running 8 at this point. That's why I looked into Bartholomew, because it's also a blocker and a 2k counter. So using these two is fine, just to have that amount of 10 2ks, just not to be as squishy, because you have a lot of non-counter cards and you have a lot of event cards, so usually people will tend to rush you down and just attack you just to finish you off. That's why it's a good 2k counter, and it's also a blocker. And speaking of blockers, there's also a Sabo. Sabo is good because in the mirror match you can just protect your whole board by using his effect. Also, it fixes your hand in case you have too many non-counter cards and it's just not enough to discard one card. With Sakazuki you can play Sabo just to discard that card and get like any good card for yourself, like a 2k counter or at least a 1k counter in the form of brand new Borsalino or Rebecca. So that's in regards of the whole build. Like I said, sometimes you can switch things up, add more Kaidos, add more Borsalinos, add Manchuri. It's possible. But in the end, all you want to do is just control their board, make yourself have more cards than they do by using Rob Lucci, who can +2, by using Rebecca, who pluses 1. With the Hina combo, the Hina becomes a beat stick for you to swing at, and simply control their board and not let them play. It's as simple as that. The Houndblaze give you aggression and removal at the same time. The greater option is a free -2 to utilize your Rob Lucci's, your Borsalinos, and so on. You just play the deck. Will you be playing Rob Lucci or so-called Sakalucci, or will you tend to play another deck? Let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.